So here we go. Oh, what a coincidence. It stopped right there on me. What is up? Oh, man. So last year I failed on doing a couple things, and this year I'm trying to stay above it. One of the things I wanted to do was recaps after tournaments and tackle talk of what I use and things of that nature. So this right here helps me do all of that in one. Let me make sure I get all this stuff straight and the whole. There we go. Control F. There we go. Get all that on screen. So, yeah, what's up, Crowley? What's up, on everybody? Straight bash yesterday. Dang. There were some hybrids that were caught. Our buddy OG Tech, I think he caught like a 8 or 9 pound hybrid. So, welcome everybody. This is going to probably be first episode of my tournament season for post Dangl clarity. And what I wanted to do in this series of things, because everything here is going to get uploaded to YouTube, I wanted to give you guys just and myself a pretty much a history stamp of what happened for the tournament and pretty much what happened throughout the day yesterday. And in this episode, it's going to be about Hyco Lake, which was that one. We won't do Tillery for many reasons. We won't be doing the first tournament I did with CK for Tillery, but we'll do Hyco for CCKF and a couple of things. You know, what went right, what went wrong. Just a quick debrief. I'll try to make these episodes 30 to 45 minutes. I don't want to get too caught into it, but that's the reason I'm creating these. Also for my own improvement of what I did at this point in time and what I could do better next year, or things to look for, patterns that I was able to capitalize on, and things of that nature. So getting into the episode, we'll start it up. Today is March 23rd. The tournament was on March 22nd. Hyco Lake, northern North Carolina, right under the Virginia border. Weather-wise was, I would say, clear bird skies. Not fully clear. It was slightly cloudy in the morning, but it was foggy. It kind of burnt off. Water temp when we got there was what, like 54, 55, and water clarity was slightly stained, muddy in certain areas. We did have rain 4 days prior. So cool. Got that time and setting stamp, so we're good. And then going into it, just talking about the day. Before I even get into the day, big shout out to Will Lambert. As you guys know, we were talking about the Tillery thing. I got a spinning rod from Will, and it's the St. Croix Bass X. I asked if he had a medium action fast rod because I lost my good one. And man came through. I already had a reel for it. I normally throw the Daiwa Revros LTs, so that got matched in quick. I also told him I had no cranking reels because mine's are being held in Japan right now. And he came through with a right-handed 6.3 SLX DC. He said for free, we owe him, but he definitely told us for free. So before anything, Will, if you watch this on YouTube, if you're watching it on Twitch, man, greatly appreciate it. Thank you. A lot of people asked me did I need anything, and I thought I had everything covered, and I don't know what inspired him to message me once I was doing checks on all my orders to say, hey, did you still need anything? And I literally told him everything I needed. So for anybody else watching that has sent me messages and in gear that you guys are trying to offload, I thought I was good the day before, or a day and a half before the tournament. I was not all good, and Will was the first person to hit me up. So I do apologize if I didn't get back to the first person who asked me if I needed anything. No hard feelings. It was just of the time and what happened. But yeah, we'll get into the baits right after I do the promo. You guys know I fish. There you go. I fish under the pro staff for Carolina Bass Co. Craig was on earlier today if you guys watched the stream. Carolina Bass Co., homegrown up in Youngsville. Craig is an awesome gentleman who decided to start selling baits, and through the chance of great luck, I met Chris, who is Craig's neighbor, via Twitch and fishing, and everything pretty much fell in line. Became really good friends. We've been over his house, hung out, went fishing a lot, talked fishing a lot, and I was offered Carolina Bass Co. Pro Staff uh, setup. So if you guys don't mind, make sure you go over, check out CarolinaBassCo.com. Your tackle needs. We do have a couple of extra camping stuff and some miscellaneous things, but for the most part, I can't say all my tackle was Craig this weekend, but we'll get into it. Majority of it was. I'm probably going to do a quick program this year also, similar to what you guys see influencers do. If you guys hashtag me, post any pictures of your orders from Carolina Bass Co. using the solid 15 in your order, you will get a shout out, and at the end of the month you will be in a drawing. So if only one person buys bait, they're going to get something. So please make sure you guys hop in there, show Craig some love. CarolinaBassCo.com. I can't say enough. Yeah, Chestnut. Insurance got me mostly everything back. So going into it, we'll talk about the lake itself. Hyco Lake is a like I said, northern North Carolina, right on the Virginia border lake. Launch yesterday was 6:50, and lines out was 2:30. Plan going into it, I was at Hyco 3 to 4 weeks earlier, with our buddy Dave, and we were checking a lot of stuff. I was doing offshore. Dave was running shallow. What we found midday, cranking was working for Dave. What I found early going into the late of the day, the bait was pretty deep, 15 to 20 feet, and bass were sitting in that 20 to 10 foot range, suspended and chasing bait. So it gave us a very, very easy early pre-spawn thought process. So that was mostly the mentality going in there for that. And for the most part, I went into the thought process of that was 3 weeks to a month ago, and we're early pre-spawn. We should be definitely getting super pre-spawn. So once we got to the ramp, we looked at the water. We saw it was still slightly stained, but we also knew it was 54, and it was going to climb throughout the day. So I even told Sean, I told Mr. Randolph, and I think I was even talking to Will about it when he was handing me stuff. I'm probably just going to do a pre-spawn pattern, run shallow, run a lot of moving bait, and then focus on staging areas. And that was mostly the plan. And then also, when I was talking to Sean, I said, hey, once the sun comes up, I'm going to transition off of a pre-spawn pattern and go for a dock bite. See if I can lock in some of the earlier moving pre-spawn females, hopefully on the front docks, like coming into a lot of these coves. Cool thing about Hyco, there's docks, there's a lot of rock. It has a silt bottom in some areas, but it also has a really nice hot hole right there where the power plant will discharge warm water, and I'll get into that later. But what we noticed on launch coming out, what's up, C-Dye? What we noticed on launch coming out was there was no wind, and so here's the launch area here. There wasn't a lot of wind, and I didn't think that there was going to be a lot of activity deep. So as we're going through, we came through here. This is normally right here. This power pole in the middle of water is normally my first spot to stop. And I mean, I've been to Hyco, 3 or 4 times now, and normally I see life here. I didn't see any life here, but I did see life here. And what makes this area a little bit different is that this is deep. This is a channel that comes in and it sweeps around, and this area goes deep, but there were no fish on the channel, but there were fish on the flat. So instantly, looking at my graph, and there was another angler who also stopped here, and I think they started their fishing there. But knowing that the fish were on the flat instead of the deep, instantly already told me, hey, they're going to be pre-spawned. There is no need to worry about anything else. They're going into a pre-spawn pattern. Just start fishing where deep meets shallow. So that was the game plan. I think I got about to right here, And this is where we turned on the stream, and this is when I got you guys involved. I want to say it was here or here. It might have been. It's either one of these pockets, but I came over here just to verify what I was seeing, and sure enough, the creek channel comes right through here, and then it comes up on these little edges here. And it was really good because I could see a lot of fish. Didn't know if they were bass. There are hybrids in here. Crappie is another, you know, heavy heavy play right now too, because they're spawning. But from what I saw and my assumptions, bass had to be there, high probability. So stream comes on, and I guess I can bring that up too, right? So I think we were somewhere. That's a fish. Come on. Oh. Come on. Get out the trolling motor. There you go. Made a little bassy bass. In a boat. Alright, ping pong. I got caught in a moment, saw some fish busting. Probably strippers. Oh, there we go, that's a fish. Got him. Come on, that feels big. Nope, it's a baby. It's a baby bass. Come on. There you go. Yep, buck males are everywhere. Hey, little buddy. Hey, little buddy. Hey, hey, hey now. Just want to send you out there. That's number 2. 10. Just waiting to get to that 9 sweet spot. There we go. Because with 9 feet, by the time I hit the bottom, say this is like... Is that a stick? That's a fish. That's a fish. What's up, baby? Oh, that's a fire. That's a fish. You're coming in. Yep. So yeah, we ran that bank line pretty good. I think we got our first crank bite, and I'll get into that. Yep, right up here. Okay, so real quick, we'll go into the bait there. Carolina Basco doesn't carry this, but oof, these are my favorite crankbaits. Throw year round, and that is the Berkeley Fritz side. Huge fan. This is the Fritz side 7 chartreuse blackback. Like I said, water slightly stained, so the thought process there is to keep the shad pattern alive. Darker, dingier water, you want to go with that chartreuse black. You can go with craw, but I'm not throwing craw now. I think for what I wanted to do and wanted to match the shad, I wanted to throw chartreuse blackback. So yeah, Fritz side 7 chartreuse blackback. That was our money maker early in the day, and it helped out a lot. I'm pretty sure I could have substituted that out for a spinner bait or a I think only a spinner bait. I don't think a chatterbait would have been too noisy, because I actually threw a chatterbait a little bit and I wasn't getting bites. So going through this bank line, and I talked to Sean about it. Anywhere I saw, I was in a 10-foot range. On my right, anything on my left that dropped off that 10-foot range, I'm casting in front of me, 45 to the bank, and I'm casting 45 or 15 out to my left, 45 to the bank, and straight in front of me. Reason being, I can then dictate how the fish are in those scenarios. If I'm not getting anything in front of me, as you guys saw in a couple of casts, I think this one was actually in front of me, I would throw to the right, and then I would get bit. So I think on this stretch, we caught 3 fish. We rounded this point of the hot hole, and this was a huge, huge indicator for me where I felt, as an angler, I felt pretty strong about how the speed that we were fishing and what we were getting out of it, and we needed to change before we went into a time sink. And what I mean by time sink, you just sit there going through the motions and you're not getting any productive fishing done. And I felt that right then and there, and I really, really, I was proud of myself for acknowledging that. I'll say that. I was very proud of myself for acknowledging that. So I think by the time we got to this point, I have caught a limit. So just to put things in perspective, pre-spawn pattern was announced, was predicted, was calculated. And then from this stretch, from right here to this stretch right here, we caught a limit. A small limit, but we caught a limit. That took us an hour and a half just to do all of that. Then we round this point. I catch a fish on the point. Sean catches, I think that was my first call. Sean catches a fish. Oh, he gets a bite. He didn't catch a fish. He got a bite. He caught a fish behind us with a spinnerbait. But he got a bite, and then we come around this bend, and it's just dead for about 20 minutes. And we're just running this bank. Nothing. I got a chatterbait bite, I think it was. Was it a chatterbait bite or was it a crank? No, it was the little minnow. So we'll get into that right here. On that point. Let's get a steeper angle to the bank. Let's see if anything is there. I'm seeing blow-ups out there. There might be birds, but... Oh, that's a fish. Got him. Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. There we go. I think that second hook was pretty good. Now it doesn't feel like a good one. Nope, it feels like a baby. Technology behind them, so you're pretty good. You're pretty good on those. Oh, that's a good one. Come on. Stop jumping, please. Ooh, I'm gonna need this net. Yeah, you can jump in the net. You can jump in that goddamn net. That's what you can do. Upgrade. And throughout the day, we definitely were utilizing the minnow. So this right here is the VMC ball head. Oh no, it's not the VMC. This is the shoot. I want to say it was the owner. Oh no, I forgot. My bad. Whoever made it. But yeah, it's a 5/16 ball head with a Kayak fat swim impact. That was our secondary minnow bait for not having forward-facing sonar. Since we were still on the bait pattern, I wanted to keep a minnow bait just in case. Normally, if I'm doing forward-facing sonar, I'm throwing straight tail, and if I'm doing blind casting or reaction type of style where I don't know what's actually happening, but I know the area the fish should be in, I'm gonna throw a paddle tail. Paddle tail thumps, dingy water. You want that thump. And it keeps the bait suspended better, where I don't have to use as much work as I do the minnow shake. So just things to keep in mind if you're ever not forward facing sonar and you know they're on bait, you can start doing countdowns based off of what you're seeing in 2D and what you're seeing on side imaging to figure out where the fish are based on that, and just blind cast into the areas that they are on. Give it a countdown based off the depth. So for this, I know if they're in 10 feet, I need a 2. Yeah, this is definitely more not on the water. This is the podcast. We're just trying to recap what happened yesterday on the water and have like a kind of like a mental and proof, having a receipt of yesterday's tournament for future. So yeah, this is not going to be on me on the water today. If I do, it might be on the home pond, but we'll get into that later. So, giving it a countdown, 10 feet, I know about 1.5 to 2 seconds. I'm in 7 foot. So I'll let it get to 7 foot with like a millisecond like pause. And then I hopefully will be in 10 foot. If I know bait sitting in 5 feet, I know as soon as I hit the water, once I get that 1 second, like 0, 1, I start cranking. That way I'll stay in that 5 foot range. If it's deeper than that, I have to play around with it. But same math works out for those depths in my head. With that bait, really, really good to get comfortable with your baits, your sink rates, and things like that. If you don't have forward-facing sonar, it's really dope. The way you can do that is with 2D sonar. If you put the bait next to the boat with 2D sonar, you can give yourself a countdown of how fast it gets to a certain depth on your sonar. So, after realizing that there was not going to be productive here, I think Sean was pretty much around this bend. I was somewhere in the middle. I said, "Yo, we're out. We're leaving." So we come over across to the island. My second cast on this island, I hook into something really, really big, and I lose it. Non-productive. We don't catch anything here. I say we move out again. So around this time, we're noticing the wind starting to blow, and this was pretty important because it also affected how we would progress through. And it started off light. Within about 20 minutes, it got aggressive. I would say we can let's go check the Windy app and see if it has any talks of yesterday. Hyco Lake. So Hyco's right here. Oh, that's Mayo. This is Hyco. All right. Oh, it doesn't have yesterday's, or do I have to pay for yesterday's? I don't think Windy does past. Past weather. Past wind patterns. All right. All right. So, yeah. I guess that makes sense. I don't think it was that late in the day, but it was pretty heavy. 18. It's saying 0. I don't think it was 0. I do not think it was 0. So, going forward, so we're going up here. Wind's blowing from south. So probably blowing southeast, because it was definitely coming through here, and we definitely noticed the flag on this house up here. It was ripping going like this way. So we'll just say it was a southeast wind. So as we're coming around here, we're just fishing the bank line, doing the same thing. I think I caught another one somewhere up here, and then as me and Sean are going, I catch one on a chatterbait. I want to say it was like somewhere in that area where it kind of tucks in. It might have been over here where it tucks in. No. There was a fisherman back here, so we didn't fish all of this. We fished the left side and a little bit of that. Sean did fish a lot of this pocket, and there was one fish caught back there. I think he caught his fish back here. I caught a dink right here, and that was on the Nico rig, but we'll get to that when that became really successful. What time we got? We got 15 minutes left to finish up 30 minutes. That's fine. Let's see. So yeah, we came back out here. There was some laydowns, and yeah, I did catch one on a jig right here. And I'll show you this one. This is the 6-inch jig matched in with the Riot's baits. I forgot what Riot Baits calls this one, but we'll go into the CBC shop and look at it. But yeah, just a simple green pumpkin with a little purple. I forgot what they call this this style, but this is their hybrid jig. So it has that weird archy style swim jig head. So it kind of cants up just a little bit, so you can skip it, but it also can you can just swim it down like a swim jig. Really versatile jig. That's why it's called the hybrid jig. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's heavier. I prefer the hybrid jig to be a little bit heavier, so I can use it for all aspects of what it's used for. The lighter one doesn't sink fast enough, and the I don't get a really good response out of it. So we caught that one there, and then right after that, we caught that one on a tree on a flip, and then we caught another one on a open flat that went into a little pocket on the chatterbait. And this is the Evo chatterbait, and I had that matched with a Missile Baits spunk shad. So we'll go on to CBC and look at that. The Chatterbait Evo isn't on the CBC shop, but the Spunk Shad is, and that's where I got it from. So the jig trailer was the Riot Baits. What's this guy called? Wasn't there it is. The Cyclone. So yeah, this is the Cyclone. This is what we're using for the trailer for the jig. Really similar to like the D-bomb, but the long appendages, wavy pattern gives it that really good like fish-esque style where you're not getting those pincers, but it gives a lot of motion. And for how murky the water was, we needed a lot of motion. So that was the reason why that one got put on. Uh-oh, I saw a yo. What's up, Pat?
Webster Crowley says kinda in between a gremlin too.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot I left you guys on. There you go. I wonder why it wasn't popping up for anybody else talking. Crowley got my phone talking. All right, so really good jig bite there. And then for the Spunk Shad, we were using the missile bait Spunk Shad. Where's he at? Yeah, we were using the smaller ones though. Yep. There it is. 3.0 Goby bite. So yeah, so we're using a 3-inch Goby on that. I wanted to get a more compact version of a chatterbait there. Bait size at Hyco is normally small, probably in that 3 inches is actually kind of big for a lot of the bait I've seen there. I've seen a lot of bait in that 1 to 2.5 inch range. So this worked on the chatterbait. We caught one of our keepers on that, and I think that one was like a 15 or a high 14. So really good keeper. After that, it became unproductive. We never rounded the corner here. We never fully rounded the corner there, but we did cross over to this spot. Really good yard. Like this yard is like dang near immaculate. But I always come here. It's a very good area. I don't know what makes it like so good, but last time we were at Hyco, I think we traveled all the way up to here. This was during the summer, and I found schooling fish here, but I also found schooling fish here. So this is normally one of my checkpoints that I stop at because it's a really good spot. But this was our point of, hey, we've gone too far. Let's start working our way back. I didn't practice anywhere out here to follow up, so I didn't want to go and push my luck because as you can see, the docks become very scarce right here, and then you have to make a long run. And this all back here is super shallow. I know they're not spawning. I'm not going to go all the way back here. If anything, if I had to check, it would be the front side of these islands where it gets deeper right off the main channel. But I didn't practice it, and that would be another, 30 minutes of tournament time to make a gamble. So didn't want to make a gamble. We kind of kept it straightforward, and we started moving over here. The sun is up by this time. It's about 11:30, and now I can start playing in the dock bite. So from here on, we started running most of these docks. This one dock here, is that right next to the riprap fall off? Yeah. This one dock here is where I caught the 18. This is the good money making, or I can't say money making. I didn't make any money. This is the good dock. What I noticed on this dock, or what I was noticing on what I wanted to attack, I wanted all front docks of points. Reason being, if we're pre-spawn, we should start seeing a lot of movement here in the middle of staging big fish, or the staging big fish will be on the front docks and the front posts. Keep that in mind. Front docks, front posts. So pre-spawn, they'll be out in the middle, or front docks, like right here on the point, the front pointed docks in the front. When it's spawning time, they'll move to the back, or they'll start moving around in the back of the front, the more so the front docks. The early pre-spawners, late pre-spawners will probably travel and start going into the shallows and things like that. But pre-spawners, that's what I was aiming for, and sure enough, we flipped the Nico rig down here on the front side of this post right here on the left. There was a boat in here with a motor. I forgot. It was a Merc like 150, and I threw it right here in that corner. By the time it got to the bottom line, went straight, and then it started slowly moving to the left, coming out here. Set the hook. Sure enough, I didn't know how big it was. I thought it was I've been catching nothing but dinks. So by the time I set the hook and got her to the surface, realized, oh, that's a big fish. Didn't matter. She didn't realize she was like about to come out the water. So once she realized it, felt the tension, she then tried to go down and then try to shoot straight up. So she shot straight up, net right under her. She fell into it, 18 and a quarter. And that was our big kicker fish. What we also noticed, which is also dope here, right here, this owner has installed a water fountain, aeration fountain. And I think Sean's first cast on the aeration fountain, he caught a 13 and a half. So really cool, nice addition. Looking forward to coming back there in the summer because that can hold a lot of fish, a lot of bait. We then work our way through here, and I was pretty much just catching dinks, more dinks with the Nico rig, and that led us to pretty much just working our way back, all the way back until we were done. I think we stopped around this area here, and then it was time lines out, and then we had to get back. So the bait that was catching a majority of my fish next to the crankbait and minnow, because I think the crankbait caught 4 out of our 5 in the morning. No, 4 of our 6 in the morning. And then the rest of my fish either came off 1 on the jig, 2 on a chatterbait, and then I would say maybe 10 on the Nico rig. So the Nico rig was the player. Coincidentally, and I explained this to Will, as I said in the beginning, I was given this Bass X rod from Will Lambert, and it literally had, I guess, all his fish catching juju on it because I was slamming them. But the Nico rig setup is this is the BKK straight shank hook. This is similar to what I'm about to show you on the Carolina Basco shop. But it also came with, I was running that with a 132 ounce Missile Baits Nico weight and the Missile Baits Magic Worm and peanut butter and jelly. My first couple of fish were on MM3, but MM3 was behind me and I had peanut butter and jelly right under me. So peanut butter and jelly MM3 kind of work good. The only difference is that purple that you see here in peanut butter jelly matches the purple in MM3, but the brown is a lot thinner in Margarita Mutilator 3. But it really won't matter. All you really need is that purple. The brown won't show up in the murky water like the purple will. You just need that purple to give it a really, really, really hard beaten contrast in stained water. And that was the plan. So on the Carolina Basco shop, let's see here. Head over to Missile Baits again. We're throwing the Magic Worm and let me see. Is Junebug? Yeah, Junebug would be too strong. Oxblood would be the next one. Yeah, Oxblood would be good. And yeah. So yeah. So I'll show you guys what MM3 looks like. Bass Pro Shop. That was not what I wanted. Just go to images then. Okay, brought me right back. Cabela's, eBay. Okay, cool. So yeah, that purple, that's really what I was looking for, was that dark purple. The laminate in there works too, but it has that morning dawn bottom. Don't really care about it. I just care about that purple. And that's what I mean, we talked about it earlier in the year on the on Hook Sets Free Contrast. That's just one of the colors that this year I was going to stay with. So there was the Missile Baits worm. I think we have the terminal tackle in here. Let's see. here's the hooks that would replicate what I was doing. Let me find that one. Nail weight. Cool. There it is. The Hyco weights. So yeah, I was throwing the 130, 132s. Really, really good weight for a very super finesse setup. Really nice. Really, really, really nice. Thoroughly enjoyed those. And then for the hooks that we were using were, I'll show you the ones I had, but the ones that are comparable, and you'll see why, are these Gamakatsu rebarbs. Super light. Size that I normally use is 1. This is the size that I was using for these guys too. And they're out of stock, so we couldn't get them from Carolina Basco. So we got the BKK straight hooks. Let's see. Barb. I'll go check them on Amazon. What the heck are those? Those are underspins? Slow sinking jig. That's some saltwater stuff. Let's go check Amazon. Yeah, I'll show you. I'll explain the Nico stuff too. Okay, those are BKK drop shots. So yeah, this is what I was using. Very, very similar to the Gamakatsu, as you can see. The only difference is the hook has a J shape. Really, really nice. Doesn't change anything in my opinion. I think they're both the same. It's just a little sharper on the BKK, but that was the substitute I used, and size 1. And that was it. So really good matchup, and thoroughly enjoyed the tournament. I think we placed somewhere in 4th or 5th. We had 78 inches. We caught about 18 or 19 bass. Shout outs to the winners. Brian Tzolkis won it with, I think, 89. Drew Blair and Chris F. I think they both tied it at 81 3/4. And I think the surprise, or the kicker fish that put Brian ahead of everybody here at the launch, based off of what Mitch was saying, he said Brian was coming in with like 30 minutes left, and he hooked into a 22 or 21 incher somewhere over here with the jig. So that got him big bass in first place. And Brian Tzolkis, Will Lambert, Chris Gravely, who am I missing? Austin Vang, North Carolina crazy hammers that always win, and they normally stick to their guns on stuff. Oh shit, Wyatt Hammond, our new Bassmaster kayak champion. This is one of his favorite lakes too. But it's a normal thing I've noticed, is that a lot of people who win stick to their guns and fish what's very comfortable for them. And hearing that Brian caught his pretty much winning fish in this cove where we started with one of his normal baits, which is a jig, really locks it in. Like, just fish comfortable, fish to your strength, and fish where you can find them. But most likely the fish he caught was a retread, because as you can see, there's only one launch here. So technically, if there's going to be winning fish from any tournament, they should still be in this general circle-ish area of travel, because once the tournament's over, a bass travel time is very, very limited on the season and when it moves. So if there were any recent good tournaments at Hyco, you can assume that a lot of the caught big fish would still be in the area, just off of energy and pre-spawn coming. So with pre-spawn, they should be able to just eat here and not move too much until they're full. So that really concludes the tournament. We'll talk about the bait. I know C-Dye wanted to talk about the Nico rig, and if there's any other questions, we'll go into that. But I think I hit my 30 minutes, so we're good there. I'm thoroughly happy about that. So for the Nico rig, the main objective that you have to understand with the Nico rig, it is essentially a weighted wacky rig. So always assume that you're doing a wacky rig, but then you have a weight at the bottom. The hook placement all depends on the user, in my opinion. I don't think it changes the hookup ratio, because what's going to happen is the fish is still going to swallow the hook just like a wacky rig. So you're going to what I normally do is hook away from Nico, or away from weight, and in my experience of using it, this counts as a weed guard. So as I'm dragging it along the bottom, as I'm dragging it across the bottom towards me, the hook is the top of the hook is always going to be facing towards me. So that means if I have to go over cover, the line goes, and then the bait slowly goes, and it should not catch. There shouldn't be a reason for the bait to catch. It could go sideways, but it shouldn't catch on anything, so I can then get it over. I always thought that if I have it forward like this, the exact opposite would happen. But I don't think anything changes. You're still. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I do it the right way? I don't know. Yeah. So this is hook towards head. Nothing really changes. But yeah, it's similar to like something like a weed guard. Just in my head, I always do it away from weight. So it comes down to your preference of how you do it. I've seen people online with the hook towards it, and I mean, more power to you. Do what you do, but yeah, it's a very I can't say it's weedless, but it goes through grass a lot easier than most people would think. You can just like hop it through grass. If you get snagged, just do a pop, and you don't really get caught unless it goes sideways and you actually hook it into something. But yeah, so, and we were throwing it at docks. So my main plan was throwing it in open water, in docks, or skipping it into the middle of docks. And then running it along some of the legs and posts inside. Nothing going through the actual legs or going through any of the cross beams inside of the docks. More so just keeping everything open. Works really well on defilades when you're coming up a hill, because all it's doing is just kicking up a little dirt and hopping. Looks really cool underwater. So yeah, that was Hyco, and yeah, I think that really should cover everything I wanted to hit in the post Dangl clarity. So I appreciate y'all for coming in and watching. Like I said, this is more so just a timestamp for me to have for future and things of that nature going forward. Big shout out to Carolina Basco. Really appreciate the support. Always do. Make sure you guys go check out carolinabasco.com. I showed you the baits and stuff. Once I upload this to YouTube, I'll have links for everything I used. And yeah, I'll catch you guys either later on stream or later in the week. Or if not, I'll catch you guys Thursday with C-Dye down in South Carolina. You guys be safe. Take care, and y'all have a great one, man. Thanks for coming out for the first episode of Post Dangl Clarity. I really appreciate y'all. Later, everybody.